Welcome along to Track Rotation Day. If you are in Series 10, Series 11 or Series 12, you may now notice that your tracks have changed. You may have a different track stat. You may have a different driver stat that features predominantly in your series. And with my help, I'm going to give you what I believe are the best setups, the best strategies to follow in your new series. So in this guide, what we do is we give you a full setup advice, we give you driver advice, we also then go into track maps for each series, give you the full lowdown on each circuit and some of the strategies that you can follow. So we're going to try and help you as much as you can get on top of these new track rotations. So let's kick it into gear, shall we? Let's go and have a look what we have in these track rotations. And if you are watching for the first time, make sure to check the description. In the description, I'm going to give you timestamps, and in them timestamps will be for Series 10, 11 and 12, so you can skip to the points that you need to look at. And make sure to keep coming back to this for the next 2 weeks so that you can take a look at what I recommend and the strategies at each circuit. So first of all, we're going to go and take a look at Series 10. So Series 10 is our first one. Now Series 10 is defending drivers. You require defending track stats for your drivers. You have got power unit tracks, you've got 2 cornering tracks, and you've got 1 speed track. So that is the sort of options that you've got. You have got Hungary, Monza, Monaco and Imola in Series 10 now. Now we're going to flag up this from the spreadsheet of TR The Flash. Big shout out to him. Here are your Series 10 stats for the drivers, okay? So on the left hand side you've got overtaking, defending, qualifying, race start, tyre management. They are the driver stats that you are going to be facing in Series 10. On the right hand side you have got the speed, cornering, power unit and qualifying pit time too. They are the car stats of the drivers that you will be facing. So what you can do is you can build your setup on the basis that you know how the AI are most likely going to perform. There's a couple of big cars in this one from the big teams, and then it does drop away quite decently. So that is your Series 10 which you're against. Let's go and find out what I recommend for your Series 10. So remember, it is defending, and I'm recommending these two, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. The reason I like these is they've got, you're limited on Series 10 epics anyway. However, they've both got okay defending stats. They have both got decent tyre management. Yuki Tsunoda has got good race start as well, which is going to help you massively. So really, I do recommend these two drivers. But again, it all depends on the levels that you've got here in Series 10. You might not have unlocked them. You may have unlocked them. You don't know. So really, it's just picking your best defending drivers, but not trying to compensate too much. You do want to get some of them other stats higher. Crucial, race start, I feel. Saves you using a few boosts sometimes. So they are the drivers that I want you to face. Now the car is looking like this. So obviously we've got the tracks. I basically now, the way I feel is Hutch haven't got on top of power unit tracks yet. So I do believe that we just ignore the power unit stat, and what we do is we stack you up with speed and cornering, and that means that you're actually going to probably beat most people in that series via speed and cornering. So these are the parts that I recommend. We've got Stormbringer, Gyro, Valkyrie, Turbojet, Arc and Mach 3. They are all parts from Series 10 or lower. So everybody should have at least unlocked these or is on their way to unlocking. But you're going to be fast at the speed and cornering track, and you are still going to pick up some very good points at the power unit circuit because you've got good speed and cornering. You just can't push as much. But remember, predominantly, you're going to get your speed and cornering tracks. Power unit can be a little bit more tough to come by. And remember, out of Series 10, you've got 2 cornering tracks. So cornering will feature most likely. So they're going to give you a good setup. That's what I want you to follow. Now straight away, let's get into your strategy guide for Series 10. and we'll go ahead and give you what you want to follow. So let's start off with Hungary. Now you should be, obviously, you've set up your drivers, so you've set up your car. 4 medium should be your go-to on this one, and a 4 wet is your wet strategy. You can see the boost list down in the corner: Hook, Movember, Prince, Jin, Tsar, Cranberry, Reindeer, and Downforce. They follow all the track stats. So to get the best boost, you need to use one of these. And then in the top right, we've got your track map, which is blue, where you need to go onto the conserve engine mode. We've got yellow, so you go onto medium engine mode, and we go onto red for attack mode, where we're pushing very hard indeed. Track 2 then, we go off to Monza, and remember you can get these in any order. So again, 4 soft, you're probably not going to be able to really do. You need about 90 tyre management, so if you're including a boost that gets you to 90, fine. However, most likely 4 medium is your strategy in Series 10. The safe option is the 4 medium. Boosts, you're kind of limited, that features both. You've got Rainbow, Tulip, Vice, and Warrior. And then top right, you have got your track map. So you've got the blue again for conserve, little bit for medium pace, and then red, attack. Monza is difficult, so just be wary around this circuit. We've also got a very tough track in Monaco. So 4 medium is what you're going to be following around this circuit. You've got the 4 wet as well that you can follow in the wet. You've got Hook, Movember, Prince, Jin, Tsar, Cranberry, Reindeer, Downforce. So same as Hungary at this circuit. 3 places to conserve at the top, and then some big action at the end of the lap. The Nouvelle chicane, the swimming pool section, all face good opportunities to overtake, including the last corner. So make sure you give that a bell. And then the final circuit, it's an Italian double this 2 weeks in Series 10. We have got 4 mediums for defending and power unit of Imola. And we've got the 4 wet as well if you're in the wet. We've got Iron Force and Gladiator with Jin, Vice and Exception all being able to be used as well to get the most out of the boost. So that is your Series 10 walkthrough. So, moving swiftly on to Series 11. You have now got what Series 12 had in the last couple of weeks. You are on to tyre management. So you have now got Silverstone, which is tyre management and power unit. You've got cornering featuring at Mexico. You have got cornering again featuring at Spain. And you have got Abu Dhabi featuring the speed. So 2 cornering tracks. You have got 1 speed track, and you have got 1 power unit track here in Series 11. But then let's show you. These are the stats, the driver stats and the car stats of those drivers that you're going to come up against the AI in Series 11. So this is going to really give you a good indication as to where you should be. Driver stats on the left, the car stats of them on the right. And remember, they're going to be pretty quick from the big teams as well. So it is very hard to build your team. But the more you level up, simply the easier it gets. And remember, the easier it gets when you use boosts as well, because that is just the game that we are in this year. Boosts are pretty much required. So let's go and take a look at your strategy and your setup. So your car setup, again, I'm going with the same. I'm getting rid of power unit because we're going to still race pretty good round there. Yes, you might find it more difficult against real players, but you're going to find it easier against real players at the speed and cornering circuits. So I've gone with about 3 Series 11 parts in here, and then we've got the Gyro, Hustle and Mach 3 from the lower series. Again, power unit only 100, qualifying is okay at 104, and we've got speed, and cornering, which is fairly balanced. Just covering off them 2 circuits where we can, which are going to feature most predominantly. Now, you can go with this. Obviously, your stats might be slightly different based on your levels, but this is what I do recommend to set your car setup. And trust me, if you're against a bot on power unit tracks, you're probably most likely still going to win. Now, the drivers, I'm going with George Russell and Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda, I think he's actually, I know his qualifying sucks a little bit, but actually, he's got a very good race start, and he's got decent tyre management as well from a Series 11 driver. You have also got Russell, who has got okay tyre management, but again, I'm going for the race start. Some of these tracks, you need a good race start, like Mexico, like Silverstone, also like Spain. Race start is crucial to getting some big points, so that's why I featured these two drivers. You could use someone like Perez, because he'll have decent tyre management, but again, his race start is bad, so that's why I go for these two. And I think if you've got these at decent levels as well, you're going to be absolutely fine. So they are my recommendations for your Series 11 car and drivers. And now let's get into your strategy maps for Series 11. So we'll start off with the home of motorsport. It is the United Kingdom. So let me go and find what the hell I've done with that strategy map. Here we go. So you should be following the Champions Contender strategies. You've got the free soft for medium and the 4 medium free soft for dry conditions. And you've got the 4 wet, 3 wet and the 3 wet, 4 wet for the alternative if you are in the wet conditions. All your boosts are then listed down below, which feature both track stats. Butterfly, Pretzel, Frost are the key ones. We've marked them out. And then you've got Surf, Iron Force, Dead Fast, Dragon, Instinct. So a lot of boosts that you can use in these series, which are going to benefit you. Top right track map, 4 big places to conserve on the straights. You've got some good attacking opportunities as well here at Silverstone. Another track then, we're going to the cornering circuits, first of Mexico. So 4 soft might be a little bit tricky for you. You're probably going to need around a driver with at least 75 tyre management, then a tyre management boost on top. So if you're not comfortable with that one, you can either do the 4 soft and kind of don't push too much in the opening stint and then go for mediums and push. Or if you want to be safe, just go 4 medium, 4 medium. You've also got the 4 wet, 4 wet. And the 5 wet, 3 wet you can do. Again, if your tyres, for 5 wet, remember you need 20% tyre management a lap. So by end of lap 1, you need to be at 80%, lap 2, 60%, and so on. If you're not getting that and you're lower, you're going to have to go for the 4 wet, 4 wet. The boosts, Movember, the 2 featured, Saar and Nazar are best round here. You've also got Downforce and Self-Control, which feature both track stats. Big straight here in Mexico. Make sure to conserve. You can gain around 15% power unit back, so make sure you to conserve, and you've got some good places for attack. Mexico tends to be a very tricky track indeed. Next up then, we've got Spain. It is 4 soft, 5 medium, 4 soft. Again, you need decent tyre management, 75 tyre management plus a tyre management boost for this one again. If you can't do that, you're probably going to be looking at a 4 medium, 5 hard, 4 medium. And then in the wet, you can do a 3. You can do a 4 wet, 5 wet. You could also do a 5 wet, 4 wet. Again, it just depends on your driver levels. Just watch that tyres. Remember, 5 laps, 20% a lap. If you want to do 4 laps, it's got to be 25% a lap. So just keep that involved and in mind. Saar and Nazar, your 2 best. You've got Movember, Downforce and Self-Control. Big straight to conserve again. Good track for race start as well, Spain. Make sure to push on that lap 1 too. And then the final circuit of this one, it goes to Abu Dhabi. So 3 soft, 4 medium, 3 soft for your drivers. And you've got you don't usually get wet conditions in Abu Dhabi, but we will cover it. 4 wet, 3 wet and a 3 wet, 4 wet. Dead Fast, Eternal Flame and Eagle are the best boosts around here. And then top left this time. 3 places to conserve. Abu Dhabi can be a tricky track. It can be a track which has a bad race start. So hopefully you get the look. And fingers crossed with the setup we've given you, you're going to be actually winning that race because everybody else has gone completely balanced. So then that leaves us to the final one. We are heading off to Series 12, which now features all speed. So we've got full speed on Series 12. We have got Austria, which features defending. China features overtaking. We have got Vegas, which is restart. And we've got Jeddah, which is tyre management. So on this one, let's show you Series 12 drivers. Again, some of the AI featuring over 300 of the speed. So It's going to be tricky. You've got really the big teams up to Mercedes, which feature 300 plus speed. Even Magnussen and Hulkenberg seem to be pretty good at these tracks. So do bear that in mind. This is what the AI are going to be running. There's some quick pit times in there as well. So we really need to grind it out. And I'll show you the strategy that we're going to be following in this Series 12 now. And we've gone for something a little bit different too. So if we get rid of Series 12, here we go. Now, because it's a balanced series on drivers, I do recommend picking the most balanced drivers, and they feature Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. So the reason we do this, and I'm on my free-to-play account, so my levels are lower, they hold decent race start, they hold okay tyre management, they hold good defending, and their overtaking is slightly weak, but their qualifying is very good. So really, with a driver stat which is so sporadic, we need to just go balanced drivers, and I think Norris and Leclerc are the best two to go for these. You can use other drivers, obviously in Series 12. Alonso's got a boost this week currently, so you're probably going to be using Fernando Alonso with a 20%. You've also got drivers like Albon who will be okay. You've got, I mean, look at Albon, for example. He probably would come in for me. Or you've got someone like Sainz if you're not too worried about tyre management. But these two, regardless of levels, usually are the two to go to. Now the car, first of all, what I recommend to do is set up on a full speed setup. Now some of the tracks that we've got, including Jeddah, including Vegas, you can get a difficult start sometimes. So what I've actually done is I've gone for a speed setup, but what I've done is I've reduced it a little bit, and I've gone for some qualifying to help put me up the grid a little bit, to try and avoid that bad race start and getting stuck at the first corner at the back. So that is why I've put Nemesis in there here. But if you wanted to go full speed, you can see I could go turbojet and I could go plus 19, but I am going to lose some qualifying. So really, try full speed. If you feel that you just get stuck and you start too far back, add a little bit of qualifying and see if that helps you in the race as well. So strategy area time for the final time. For series number 12, it is the last one of the series. Let's kick it off with the defending track of Austria. So we should be all comfortable with champions and contender. We've got the 4 soft, 4 soft, 2 soft, and the 5 medium, the 5 medium 2. You can do the other strategies that are on there, but chances are you're not going to need them. And it's the same strategy in the wet as well. The 4-4-2 and the 5 wet, 5 wet. We have got Rainbow, Tulip, Vice and Warrior. The best boost around the Red Bull Ring. 3 places to conserve down the straights. Plenty of attacking. It's a quick track. Remember, there's a fair few laps at the Red Bull Ring. So just keep an eye out. Don't get caught short at that circuit. China is up next. 3 soft, 4 medium, 3 soft is your champions and contender. Your Series 12 should be running that strategy. A lot of boosts to choose from though. You've got Skull, Eclipse, Fireworks is a key one. We've got Taurus, Unstoppable, which is the boost featured this week. Eternal Flame, Hex, Street Shark is another good boost. And you've got the free boost of Warrior in there too. 2 big places to conserve the power unit on the straights. Get that conserving. Give yourself the power unit to attack later on in the lap as well. We're heading to the strip. Not that strip. We're going to Vegas for the 3rd track in this series. 3 soft you should be fine with here. I don't expect you to have really low. If you do find you're struggling, go to the mediums. So you've got 3 soft, 3 mediums. You've got 3 wet in the wet. If it does rain, slim chance of that though. And then you've got Firework, Rainbow, Street Shark. You need that race start is the boost that we go for. You can also use Timeless and Surf. Hold some good stats. Hopefully no safety cars because it's going to be a long Series 12 for the next 2 weeks. Top right, blue for conserve. You have to be conserving around this track. There's some short places to overtake. You need the power unit. And then finally, a very tough track in Jeddah. 3 soft should be your go-to. If you struggle, get the mediums on, but you should be fine on the soft Series 12. And then in the wet, don't imagine it's going to rain, but you never know. It's the free wet. And before I flick too quick, let's get the boosts. Steadfast, Eternal Flame, Eagle, And really, my key advice in Jeddah is attack for the whole first sector, conserve for the second sector, rinse and repeat every single time. So that is your track rotation guide for F1 Clash starting from today for the next 2 weeks. They are the strategies, the setups, the boosts, the track maps, all featured, giving you the very best advice that you can get here on F1 Clash. Hopefully, you're going to go and smash it. If you've got this far, let me know down in the comments. I want to hear a big up as a W. Thanks for your advice if you've got this far as well. Really appreciate your support. We're doing this for your benefit and your benefit only. I don't like to keep secrets. I like to give you all the knowledge, all the information, so that you can go and smash your duels and then your GP events.